Hi everyone and welcome back to the Brownie Life, and if you're new to our channel, thanks so much for watching our channel today. In today's video I'm going to share with you 3 recipes that I've introduced to my diet that I've been testing out as part of my healthy eating regime and as part of my weight loss journey. Now all of the 3 recipes are actually from this book, which is TESS DALY, 4 Steps to a Happier and Healthier You. I found this book so interesting, a really good read, so excellent in terms of eating, breathing, moving, sleep, all different things are covered in this book. Now, this is not a sponsor, it's not an ad. I'm just putting this video out there for recipes that I've actually tried from this book that I really do rate. I've really enjoyed making the recipes, and as I say, I'm part of a weight loss journey now, so I'm trying to find anything I can in terms of healthy eating or anything like that that I can do to help myself, and I really hope today's video helps you. I got this book for Christmas, and as I said, I found it a super read. It's been really interesting in terms of how we breathe, how we move, sleep patterns, all different things. You know, exercise, sleeping, breathing techniques are all really major important parts in terms of making our body so much healthier. So it's not just the eating plan, it's lots of other things too. If you've not already checked this book out, definitely go do that. As far as I'm aware, it is still sold on Amazon. My husband got me this in the sale actually before Christmas in the works because they were selling it quite cheap. He bought me that because he knew that I'd be really interested in it, and it's been a super buy for definite, so go check it out if you haven't already. So if you're interested in weight loss journeys, definitely go check out my weight loss journey playlist on this channel right now. I'm definitely going to be adding more videos as I go along into that playlist. There's definitely more coming up in terms of exercise plan, healthy eating, and how I'm continuing to lose weight. So definitely go check out that playlist if you haven't already, and keep tuned for more videos. So now let's get to the 3 recipes that I've made recently from the TESS DALY book. So let's head to the recipes now. So the first recipe is the Power Up mashed banana with honey and lime. This could easily be used for a breakfast, brunch or a lunch. The second recipe is the Bursting Blueberries French Toast. Again, this could be a breakfast, brunch or a lunch also. And the third recipe is the Crowd Pleaser Turkey Shepherd's Pie, which I would consider more of an evening meal. It could be a lunchtime meal, but certainly I've made it as an evening meal. But if there isn't that many of you actually eating it, it most certainly could be warmed up the next day for a lunchtime. So if you had it as an evening meal at the beginning when you first make it, then the next day as a lunch. For each of the recipes, I'm going to share with you a step-by-step guide as to how I followed the recipes. So the first recipe is the Power Up mashed banana with honey and lime. So let's get cooking. So for this first recipe, I'm just making it for myself today, so I don't really need to make a big amount of it. So I'm actually only using 1 banana. I have made this recipe before and I've done it for my husband as well, so I've used obviously extra ingredients. But the basic things of what you need is some sourdough. So I'm just going to use 2 small slices, and then some peanut butter. Now I really like this one. This is really nice, but obviously any peanut butter would be fine. This has got actual chunks of peanuts in it, but obviously you could have a smooth peanut butter if you prefer that. I've just gone for 1 banana because that would be enough just for myself, and you need to obviously be mushing that up. And then half a lime, because the other day I actually made this and I used the other half of the lime then, because you're going to take off a bit of the zest and then a bit of the lime juice. So I've just got half a lime in there. Now here, a bit confusing because the tub says my protein. It's not, but go check out my protein videos that I did more recently on the channel, testing out a lot of the my protein meals at Iceland. So go check them out if you haven't already. I use this tub, just a really handy tub, just to put anything in it, and in there is lots of different seeds. Now the recipe does quote specific seeds, but I've just gone for a mixed seed. So there's pumpkin seeds in there, sesame seeds, I'm not sure if there's linseeds, all different seeds anyway, and that's what you need for the topping at the end. So let's get straight to it. Let's get some sourdough toasted, and then let's pop the other ingredients on. Yeah, sorry everyone, missed one of the key ingredients out. You definitely need some honey. It's got honey in the name of the recipe, so why did I think you didn't need the honey? You definitely need a little bit of honey for drizzling. So just while the sourdough is toasting, all you need to be doing is mashing up your banana. So again, whether you've got 1 banana, 2 or 3, depending on how much of this recipe that you're making. So that's all you really need to do. Mash up the banana into a bowl. And then I'm using the other half of the lime just to grate it for the zest, and then obviously you can use the juice as well. So I'm just waiting for the toast, and then we can do the next step of the peanut butter. So with the banana, as you can see, I have mashed it up, but I still left it quite chunky, just because the last time I did it, I did do it a little bit too mushy, and I wasn't as keen on the banana element. So I think sort of mushing it up, but leaving it, sorry, excuse me, I've got lime all over my fingers. You can still leave it a little bit chunky. You know, it doesn't really matter whether you want it mushed down or a little bit chunky like that. That's how I prefer it. Now, lime-wise, I think the actual recipe says this amount of lime for about 3 or 4 bananas when you're making a little bit more of the recipe. But I actually really enjoy lime in things, so I'm putting a lot more lime in my portion today. But again, you don't have to, so you could put a lot less than that in. So the sourdough toast is done. I just prefer mine a little bit more well done, but again, do it however you want it. And then I'm going to pop on this beautiful peanut butter. This is really good. It does say it's like no other, and you know what? I'm not sponsored in any way at all. This isn't an ad for this product, but this is really nice. Now, it's not super sweet or anything like that. It is just natural peanut butter. So, you know, if you prefer a lot more sweet things, well, this probably isn't for you, but I really enjoy this. I'm going to pop some of the peanut butter onto the toast now. So I would say probably just a teaspoon, to be honest, and then just spreading that and then start to put the mashed banana on the top. So peanut butter done. Look at the big nuts in the peanut butter. It is really good, definitely. So let's get to the banana. So let's just drizzle a little bit of the honey on top. So this is the seeds. There we are. So just a drizzle of honey. The seeds are on, the lime's on, everything's done. Let's see how this compares to the recipe in the book. So this is my Power Up mashed banana with honey and lime. And then this is the one out of the recipe book. So yeah, I don't think I've done a bad job. I think obviously their sourdough is shaped slightly different to mine. Mine's more obviously square slices, that's more longer slices. But really, it's come out the same. It's very easy, folks, to be honest. I mean, I think, you know, anyone could whip this up. Definitely really good for a healthy breakfast or indeed a healthy brunch or lunch. I've been really enjoying it. It's packed with so much goodness in there. You know that you're eating something really healthy, but you actually feel really full after eating it. My husband's not as keen, but he will eat it, and Emily just won't actually entertain it, so never mind. But I, for one, really rate this. I do really enjoy it, so give it a go yourself. In addition to the healthy eating, if you look at my face, you can probably tell I've been working out. So I've been doing lots of exercise at home, so I just wanted to come on and show you all what I look like when I've done an exercise workout. So it's definitely been hard work, everyone, for definite, but I've been doing lots more exercise, you know, workouts at home, as well as the healthy eating. So definitely keep watching our channel, subscribe if you haven't already. There's definitely gonna be more videos to do with my weight loss journey. How am I losing more weight? What's my exercise plan? What am I eating? You know, what am I doing to lose weight? So definitely keep following the channel, subscribe if you haven't already. So the second recipe I'm going to share with you is the bursting blueberry French toast. So let's get to that one now. These are all the ingredients that you would need for the recipe. I'm going to alter it just slightly so that it covers really for 3 of us rather than 4. The only real changes I'm making is instead of 3 eggs, I'm going to be using 2. And instead of 150 millilitres of milk, I'm going to be using 100 millilitres of milk, just so that the wet ingredients is kind of altered. In terms of maple syrup and cinnamon and things like that, I'm just going to put the same amount in, if I'm honest, just to make it taste like a little bit stronger, which I've made this before, and I think it doesn't really alter it, you know, to that degree. I think it's absolutely fine to do that. Blueberries, I've just got a little bit less. The recipe, I think, says 250 grams. I'm just using 150 because that's the pack that I've got. So I'm making this recipe for 3 of us rather than 4, so that's why I'm just altering some of the ingredients just slightly. So the full list of ingredients here are blueberries, some honey, eggs, salt, milk, butter, maple syrup. I've actually got just a maple flavoured syrup, if I'm honest, so that is a little bit cheaper. And then we've got some ground cinnamon, and then we've got some brioche. Now, I really like this particular make. It's obviously more like a French brioche, which is really good. I've used it for a few different recipes, so I highly recommend this one. But obviously you could get any sliced brioche that you can get hold of in the supermarkets. So these are all the ingredients that I'm going to be using. So the full recipe for 4 will be 250 grams of blueberries, 2 teaspoons of honey. I've just reduced it, 150 grams of blueberries and 1 teaspoon of honey. So I've just reduced it for the amount that I need to use. Then we're going to have a squeeze of lime, which I would probably just put probably half a lime if you're reducing it, and if you wanted to do the full recipe, maybe put the full lime in, quite possibly. I've basically normally cooked these the same amount of time it takes me to get all of the other ingredients ready and the toast element done, but obviously you could leave it as long or as little as you want really. The idea of it is basically so that it makes its own juices, it makes more of a compote, the blueberries start to split, etc. So I've got it on sort of a medium heat right now, but then I'm going to turn it down to a low heat. So as I say, I just start that cooking at the beginning, and then I'm going to start working on my French toast in the pan. So once this is ready, in theory this should all be thoroughly ready as well. I've now got the butter ready in my pan, and then I've got all of the other ingredients ready in here just to whisk up. So I've got my eggs, my milk, my cinnamon, maple syrup, and a pinch of salt. Maple syrup wise, I've literally just gone for 3/4 of a tablespoon rather than a full tablespoon, 2 eggs rather than 3, 100 millilitres of the milk rather than 150, and then with the cinnamon it said 1/4 teaspoon, so I've just done slightly less. All of those ingredients are now in the bowl, they need to be whisked up, and then it's a case of just getting your brioche, dipping it in this mixture and then frying it in the pan. So let's go. So mixture all mixed up there, and I'm just popping the brioche in. So it's just a case of soaking them either side, but not too much where it soaks too far in. So just literally coating them. It's a little bit difficult doing it one-handed with a camera. And obviously just make sure that you're washing your hands after with the raw egg and everything. So yeah, just coating them like that and pop them straight into the frying pan with the butter. Just fry it on a medium heat really until it starts to go golden brown. Probably leave it just 2 or 3 minutes or so on each side, just sort of keep turning it then until you feel that the colour wise it looks, you know, quite medium golden brown, as I say. Blueberries are cooking away there in the pan just on a really low heat, so as you can see the berries are starting to burst and it's just making more that sauce for the compote. So these are bubbling quite nicely now, so I'm just going to have a go and turn them over. So just keep turning it over until it looks this nice golden brown on the top. You just wanting to make sure that all of the sort of wet ingredients, you know, the milk and the egg and things, are just soaked in and that it's all sort of nice golden brown on the top. As I say, a few minutes each side, really just sort of keep turning it until you feel it's about right, which, as I say, this looks certainly cooked enough, so I'm ready to serve it up. So here's the finished article, the blueberry French toast. That's what it looks like in the recipe book. And I think, if I'm honest, I think I've done an okay job. I have made it before, as I say, really enjoyed it. So this is the bursting blueberries French toast. Obviously you've got the blueberry compote on there. You can either team it up with a bit of Greek yoghurt or creme fraiche. I've done it with creme fraiche today just because that's what I had in. But yeah, highly recommend it. Really, really enjoy this recipe. So have a go at making it yourself. So the third recipe I'm going to get to now is the crowd pleaser turkey shepherd's pie. Now when I first started making this in terms of the turkey mince, I'd not actually made anything with turkey mince before, but this really is a really good dish, and certainly anyone who likes shepherd's pie, yes it is a little bit different because it isn't beef mince, but it's definitely worth a try. So I'm going to head to that recipe now, show you my step-by-step guide of how I've made this turkey shepherd's pie. But this dish is definitely worth making. It's absolutely amazing. I really, really have enjoyed it, and I think because it's healthy and you know that all of this good ingredients is going in, you know, into the dish, I really think it's definitely well worth making it. So yeah, starting off with the turkey. I've got quite a large pack of turkey mince just because at the time the supermarket didn't have a smaller pack, but previously when I made this I did use a smaller pack of turkey mince. But all I'm going to do is pop the other part in the freezer, use it for something else to use it up. So yeah, you've got the turkey mince and then the mushrooms, onion, garlic, leeks, celery. They're all sort of the vegetable type of things that go with the turkey. Some fresh parsley. And then we've got chicken stock, we've got tarragon and thyme. Now, in theory, I'm pretty sure that these in the recipe book do state for them to be fresh, but sometimes it is quite difficult to get hold of certain herbs and things, and in all honesty, I had them in, so I just used the actual dried version. And the last time I made this dish, I didn't think that it affected it in any way. So I've just put in the tarragon and thyme dried version, got tomato puree, Cayenne pepper is not in the recipe at all. Last time I just did it exactly as per the recipe. This time I'm going to add the teeniest bit of cayenne pepper in, just because that's my secret ingredient to most dishes. I just love putting that little bit of spice. I think it just makes, you know, such a difference with a lot of things. So I'm going to give that a go, just put a little bit in there. We're only talking a very small amount, in all honesty, just to, as I say, give it just a little bit of a kick really. So we've got some white wine and we've got some olive oil, salt and pepper to season. So that's all of the main ingredients for the basis of the shepherd's pie, as I say, turkey shepherd's pie. For the topping, what you need is some turnip and carrot. So there's no mashed potato going in this dish at all, so it is making it that bit more healthy, although they do say to add in creme fraiche, but there isn't a lot of it, to be fair, that goes in, and I think that just makes it that bit more creamy, so it is almost like a mash alternative really. So the turnip, the carrot, the creme fraiche, a little bit of cheese on top, only if you want to. You can add a little bit of butter in or leave it out, entirely up to you. But the last time I made this dish, I did add just a little bit of cheese as per the recipe, and I thought it definitely needed that. I think that really makes it taste really nice. The reason I've got the broccoli is purely because I just prefer to add any extra veg that I can with any meal that I do. So even though there's lots of vegetables and things going in this dish and it's more than enough to eat, I just add on another extra veg. Just why not? You know, it just gets your vegetables in, doesn't it? So this is all the ingredients. So first of all, I'm going to start chopping up the turnip and carrot, and then I'm going to move on to the turkey mince, you know, mixture with all vegetables, herbs and things like that, and show you exactly how to put all of that together. So I've got the turnip and carrot all diced up in here. I just use a steamer on the hob, but obviously you could just boil it. But at the same time, while that's cooking, what you need to have is everything else chopped up, all your vegetables chopped up, ready before you start cooking the turkey mince. I tend to do it this way anyway, in terms of whenever I'm cooking any raw meat, I would do kind of the vegetable base first, put that into a large bowl, and then do the meat. Then when the meat's cooked, add everything back in, so to speak. So this is all the garlic, onion, celery, leeks, mushrooms. So now I've added some olive oil and all of the herbs. So the only herb you don't add at this point is the parsley, and I've got fresh parsley anyway. As I said, I'm using dried tarragon and dried thyme in this. So you put those herbs in, but just not the parsley at this stage. Bit of salt and pepper, just to taste. It does say about covering it with a lid, so you can obviously do that as well. Roughly about 10 minutes, and then everything should be cooked and softened down nicely. I'm going to cook this, as I say, for about 10 minutes, maybe 10 or 15 minutes, obviously while the turnip and carrot is cooking at the same time. Quite a key thing to cook this at the same time, because you want this to be cooked by the time you get into the sort of turkey stage and things, just so that then that's ready, because that's going to obviously go on the top when you decide to put it in the oven. So after about 10 or 15 minutes, this is what it should look like in terms of it all being sort of softened down. So I've just sauteed that down, obviously had the lid on just to keep the steam in, and as I say, 10 or 15 minutes, this is now softened down. So the next stage is I tend to take this out and pop it into a bowl, as I say, and then start cooking the turkey. The recipe just says to add the turkey in, but I just don't like to do that with raw meat. You know, might just be me being a bit strange, but I like to take it out, put the mince in, and then once that's cooked, then put the vegetables back in to heat up. So next to the turkey mince. So turkey mince in, excuse the noise in the background, it's just the steamer. Turkey mince in, it does kind of mush together a little bit more, so it's not quite the same as beef mince, but all you need to do is just basically try to sort of keep pushing it together, just to sort of try and loosen the turkey mince a little bit, and the more it starts to cook, you'll be able to sort of break it apart a little bit more. So just cooking the turkey now. It says about just to brown it off, then put the lid on for about 10 minutes. So the mince should now look like this after just slightly browning it. It took about a good 10 minutes or so to get to this stage. As I say, you do need to make sure it's just slightly browning, there's no pink bits, and just sort of keep moving it with the spoon just to sort of bash into the meat a little bit, just to break it up so that it looks more like this. I've got the chicken stock, just one stock cube in the jug there, 150 ml of water, hot water obviously from the kettle. 2 tablespoons of tomato puree is going into the pan, and then 100 millilitres of wine, so I'm going to get to that next. So just mixing in all of the chicken stock, the white wine and the tomato puree just into the turkey mince, and then once it's all combined, you just need to pop the lid on and then let it simmer for about 10 minutes. And then that's at the point where you then add the parsley next, and then we can get to start layering up the shepherd's pie. So now the turkey mince is all done with the, as I say, the tomato puree, the chicken stock and the wine. That's been simmering for at least 10 minutes now with the lid on, and then I've popped the fresh parsley in, and then next I'm going to add all the vegetables that I've previously cooked back in just to heat that up. So everything's all combined now, all the vegetables have all been mixed in, and I've just put a really tiny dash of cayenne pepper. Obviously you don't need much, to just add a little bit of spice. That's not in the recipe, so you're not supposed to put it in, but I have, just because I really like cayenne pepper in things, just to give it that little bit of a kick. Turnip and carrot is definitely done now, so I'm going to drain that. The top tip in the recipe book is when you drain it, pop it into your bottom pan with no water in it and just leave it heating just for a few minutes on the heat, just to take out that excess water, and it does work actually. So do that, and then we're going to add in a little bit of creme fraiche, just mixing it all together, season it. So the carrot and turnip all mashed up with a little bit of seasoning, a bit of salt and pepper, and 2 tablespoons of the creme fraiche. Then mix that all together. These type of dishes are perfect for this type of thing, just as you would a shepherd's pie. So you've got all the turkey mixture here, and then pop on top the turnip and carrot mixture, and then lastly you're going to pop a little bit of cheese over the top. So a little bit of cheese on top, in the oven now for about half an hour on 180 if you're an electric fan oven. So turkey, shepherd's pie, all completed, all looking lovely. So this is the crowd-pleasing turkey shepherd's pie, all plated up with some extra veg on the side. This is what it looks like in the book. The book one does actually look, you know, within the recipe, it does look a little bit more browner on the top, so maybe I could have left it a little bit longer. So even though it says half an hour, you could maybe leave it that little bit longer if you want it more browner and crispy on the top. But yeah, this is it. It looks beautiful. It definitely tastes beautiful. So definitely give this a go. I recommend heading to this playlist next, which is to do with my weight loss journey. If you haven't already watched those videos already, there's definitely going to be more videos heading into that playlist, so definitely keep tuned to our channel. Subscribe if you haven't already. Give this video a really big like. Thank you so much, as always, for watching our videos here on The Brownie Life, and I'll see you next time.